Hello, Life Vantage. This is Darren Jensen coming to you from our Studio B here in Salt Lake City, Utah. And it's another beautiful day at Life Vantage. Hopefully it's a beautiful day wherever you're at. And as always, let's start out with a couple of announcements. We've got Global Convention coming up. That's in Las Vegas, Nevada, October 21st through the 24th. Let's make sure that you get your tickets for that. Start booking your time because it will be an event that you do not want to miss. Also, we have our regionals going on right now, so make sure that you check the website, figure out which meetings are near you, and get out to one of those events. It's kind of like, it's like an Elite Academy tour. So we're trying to take a lot of the content of Elite Academy and bring that around in a one-day event. So it's definitely something you're not going to want to miss. Also, we give something away. Put down your name, your city, and state. And we'll give away one of these jerseys. This jersey I have on here, this is the brand new jersey. And when we're filming this right now, we're just starting the first games for Real Salt Lake. So in honor of that, this is the new jersey, kind of tiger striped. Kind of like it. They're a lot, as I think of the jerseys a few years ago, I'm talking to Brady back here. They're kind of, I don't know, weird. Yeah, plain. Let's face it, they're plain. And I like it now. They're a lot cooler. So what we're going to do is give away one of these jerseys. I think these jerseys are like 130, 140 bucks each. So put down your name, city. We'll give away several of these jerseys. Again, name, city, state, country where applicable if you're watching this internationally. And I like the jerseys. They're great to walk around with. I always get people looking at them and ask me, okay, so Life Vantage, tell me about it. All right, well, today is a continuation of our Movers and Shakers series, and we have one of our Pro 7s, Becky Taylor, who went Pro 7 back in October. And so really excited to have her on today and learn from her. Let me give you a little bit about her background. Becky lives in Washington State, about 5 miles south of the northwest corner from the Canadian border. So she's married with 4 grown children and has 10 grandchildren so far. And they have a dog, a Jack Terrier Russell, well, I should say a Jack Russell Terrier named Mimi. She's a real estate professional for 18 years, and her husband, Bob, own a traditional mechanic shop. And she's been with Life Vantage for about 4.5 years, so she and I joined the company about the same time. So with that, Becky, thanks for coming on today and taking some of your time to share with us today.
Well, I am ridiculously excited about being with you today. And I told a friend this morning, I'm getting my butterflies to fly in formation as we talk. And so I'm blessed to be here, and thank you for the invitation.
Well, there's no reason to have butterflies at all. This is just a conversation between me, you, and 50,000 of our closest.
Oh, right. So, but you know what, this is what we love to do, isn't it? We love to share our passion and our heart, and that's, you got me, you're hitting me in my passion place right now.
Well, and then with that big lion head right behind you, I mean, where can you go wrong with that?
You know, this is my rock right there. It is. This is my lion's den, and I'm welcome to it.
Well, Becky, why don't we get started with, why don't you give us just, for those that may be new to the business, I know that that many of our Life Vantage family know who you are. And so can you just quickly bring everybody up to speed on a little bit of your background, your history, just so that we know you as a person? And I think that's so important to kind of relate to people. Once we know them, it's just so much more powerful what they say. And then let's get into some of the important things that you'd like to share with us today.
Well, thank you again for having me on this morning. And I'm blessed to be amongst the movers and shakers of Life Vantage. This is a company that I proudly wear and proclaim. And I am, like Darren told you, I'm a real estate professional and have been a real estate professional for just going like in the 18-year realm now. And I was full-time. That's all my life has been until Life Vantage surprised me 4.5 years ago. And I dove in with both feet. I saw something publicly as a business professional. So for those of you that talk to business professionals, what I saw was a publicly traded company, for one, and that had a product that was life-changing and supported by science, big time. 17 published studies back then, now there's 31. So I was impressed as a professional to say this is something that I can get behind. And after hearing the science of the product, I knew I'd be on it the rest of my life. So I do have 4 children. They're grown. I'm going to have 3 of my grandchildren coming over a little later because I live the kind of lifestyle, thank you LifeVantage, and that I've chosen in real estate, that I can have the freedom to grow that this business alongside of. So I'm proud of my 4 grown children and my 10 grandchildren. My husband owns a brick and mortar shop. He's got the handcuffs on. I'm looking at breaking those handcuffs off within the next 2 years. So goals, goals, goals. And it all started because LifeVantage entered into my world.
That's wonderful. You know, I've spoken with a number of women that their goal is to break those handcuffs off their husbands so that they can be at home and you guys can live a lifestyle of your choosing, whatever that lifestyle might be. So I think that's a great goal. Well, Becky, something that I failed to mention to everyone is I do want to point out that Becky is, I guess, what you would classify in LifeVantage as a hyper recruiter or a hyper enroller, in that she brings in hundreds and hundreds of customers into the business, and probably over 100 distributors or so. Becky, how many customers have you had, and how many distributors have you enrolled personally?
I really should have looked at my numbers this morning because I wasn't sure I was going to get that question, but approximately I'm just crested over 450, 460 personally enrolled customers. And I believe I'm right about 100, and I think it's somewhere between 105 and 110 personally enrolled distributors. I key up on customers because they're the ones that I really love. Customers are key and really important to business, but I would say about 30% of my distributors started as customers.
No, that's great. You know, so many people, you know, I think we need to meet people where they're at, because so many people are, you know, just come in looking for a great product, and they're looking for some of the benefits and how they feel when they take it. But then once they use it for a while, then they decide, hey, I could do this. You know, I could do this as a business. And I think we should just go along life's journey. So what I want to point out to everybody listening, though, is, you know, when Becky's talking, I would definitely pay attention to what she's saying, because obviously she's a magnet to people to come in. So I'm very interested in what you have to say. So Becky, let me start out with a question. So what are you doing today to grow your business and achieve the goals that you're looking for?
Well, what am I doing today? So each and every day I wake up and make that choice to do it. First of all, that this is the day that I'm going to be doing something to move my business forward. And I think that is key, is that you have to choose every day and not fear the day or fear what you're going to do. And I'm always looking. So what am I doing today? I'm being deliberate, and I'm aware of every interaction, and mostly on Facebook. I will say that 90 to 95% of all my people, distributors included, I all met through social media. And so, you know, I look at this to be attractive on social media, and Facebook is primarily where I go. I very little bit use Instagram, but so I'm very deliberate about every day going on and being authentic, being deliberate in interacting with people. And so right now, because that is the easiest world to get to and the biggest pool, so why not go where the pool is? Why not go where the people are, right, Darren, is on social media. And that's where people are. That's where isolated people are, lonely people are, sick people are, and people that have problems that you have a solution for and that we have a solution for. So I'm aware, I'm deliberate, and I'm aware when I don't get caught in a scroll hole of negativity or of anything or of fear. I am deliberate and intentional every single day.
So, you know, we've been doing some surveys of our distributor base and talking to them to figure out ways that we can help them be more productive. And so we've asked a series of questions. And one of the questions that, you know, we talk about is, you know, what are some of the greatest challenges that you have at finding customers or distributors? And one of the answers is they don't know any more people, or they run out of people to contact. It sounds as if, you know, you were saying that 90 to 95% of the people that you find and that you interact with start out on social media. Can you give maybe a couple of tips for us that might help? Because, you know, a lot of people are probably listening and going, I have no idea how to be deliberate or whatever on social media. But like me, I understand very practical things. So if you give me a couple of practical things to do, I can do those today. What would you recommend that I do for social media? Maybe just a couple of practical tips.
Okay, first of all, you need to go public. And if you're posting anything and all you see is two little people, the only people that are looking at your posts are the 100 or a couple hundred or 1,000 people that you're friends with. Nobody else will ever be able to see your wall. You want your friends of friends, and the friends of friends of friends to see your wall. So I post everything publicly. So get that world on your wall first.
So where do you change that? Because people may say, oh, there's a setting.
You go into your options and then your privacy settings, and then your privacy settings will open up, and then you're going to be able to see your posts, whether they're going to be to your friends or to the public, which is a little world. And you can change it after you post. It's like, oh, I just posted and it went to only my friends. You can go up into the little three dots or into the settings and open it up, and it should open up the privacy file, and you're going to see the little people, friends of friends, you only, or the world, which is going to be public. And so everything, if you're posting something that should only go to yourself or to your private friend, you shouldn't be posting it. Yeah. So whatever you're doing is go to your world. So that's one, first of all, go public. What you are and who you are, you should be proud of. The second thing I'm going to say is I go in. Now, if you say, I only have 250 people, well, why? Probably because you're only talking to a couple of those 250 people. You want to put yourself out there so that people will see who you are, ask to be your friend. And there are a lot of spammers out there. I catch every single one of them and I report them. We won't go there. That's another training another time. But I go in. This is how I grew my Facebook world. Now I have to delete people because I'm almost at capacity. But I grew my world I went on to my friends who were not in LifeVantage but were influencers, and I go into their wall and I started looking for their friends who were influential on Facebook. If they only had 500 friends or 25 friends, I don't friend them. If they have 500 friends and they have so many likes, I go in and I friend request people. And I'm not spamming them because I also have a method that I do after I meet them that makes me sound real and legit, and I connect to every person that I ask to be friends. So you can grow. My point is that you don't have to just stay with your 250 or 150 or even 500 people on your Facebook wall. You need to be deliberately, intentionally growing that. If you love dogs, get into a dog group. And I have a lot of training of what you do once you're inside that group to become known, so that people say, who is that person? I like them. I want to know them. They talk to me. They comment on my posts. So I go into special interest groups, and wow, have I made a lot of traction by doing that. So those are a few tips. I don't want to take too much time because there's a lot to be told about it.
Well, that kind of generated just a question for me. I'm just curious on this because, you know, Becky, I have 3, I think, Facebook pages. So I have one that was my personal one, but then it maxed out. And so I don't pay as much attention to that. Then I have a public one. And then I have my own personal one that I just had family, a few friends, high school on it. And now I started letting in LifeVantage people onto it. Now I have, I don't know, 1,000 or 1,500 people on it. And but I get a lot of friend requests. And as I open up each friend request just to see, you know, who they are, sometimes they only have like one picture or it's very short. Are those like fake ones that or something? Because
they are totally fake.
I don't friend those. I reject those friend requests because I'm like, I don't even know who this person is, and they're only like 3 days old.
If they're 3 days old, if they're a military man holding a child or a dog, there's very specific ones that you can tell. Or if they're a man that has 2 first names, you know, I'm like that. They're all day long, all those kind. And then sometimes they'll even pose as a woman.
Most of them coming through are more women. They may target
Yeah,
guys.
exactly.
Like, I
So
don't even know who this person is.
I literally go in and I delete and block. If I have the time, I'll actually report them to Facebook. And I've gotten people taken off of Facebook. They just off. They'll literally go in, try to verify them, and if they're not verified, they're off Facebook. They delete them. So yeah, there's a lot of spammers out there. You have to watch for that. Do not accept every friend request that comes your way. Stalk them. Facebook allows you to stalk people. I stalk every person. I stalk their posts. I see what they're posting. I find out how many likes are on their post and how many comments are on their posts. If they have a lot of likes and a lot of comments, they're influential. I want them as my friend. And I'm sorry, and I've told people this before, but I don't accept unless we've really connected and we have a purpose to know each other within LifeVantage. I only have about 150 spaces left till I'm maxed out. I'm deleting people every day off of my Facebook so I can make more room for others. A lot of people follow me, and I welcome people to message me all day long. Please message me. I'll help you. I'll work with you. I'll talk to you, but I won't friend request. I won't accept your friend request, and that's on purpose. So,
Well, good advice there. Go public and look for influential people to friend request and join groups. I think those. I was making some notes here. Well, Becky, what are you doing this month? I know that sometimes people got a kind of a throat that's all clogged up today. It's not a coronavirus cough.
You need Axio.
Well, I drink it all the time. I just took a bunch of our supplements all at once, and I think I probably took too many at once. That's why it's like backing up on me. But quite often people grow their business in sprints, and they may have a challenge or something that they focus on to drive them for a period of time. Do you use that? Are you using that right now? Do you have any challenges that you may be doing personally in order to drive your business? What can you tell us?
I am so glad you asked, because March 1st launched my 20 and 30 challenge that I'm doing personally. It was my own personal goal to myself is 20 and 30, which means you get 20 people within 30 days. And whether they're distributors, customers, I'm just opening that up to my goal. And so day 1, day 2, day 3. So I got 3 in 3 days so far, 1 distributor and 2 customers within my first 3 days. I'm expecting another customer to drop in today. We'll see every day. So I am doing a challenge, and it is called the 20 and 30. It was Eric Worre driven, and he's taught it, and I believe he taught it to LifeVantage people as well. It's very powerful, but I found that you need to prepare for it. If you just wake up and I'm going to do that challenge, I'm going to start today, you might find yourself freezing. I find I call myself the mindset mentor, as well as Becky, the biohacker. That's really my big hashtag name. But I prepared myself, and I got my mind, my heart, and my wall, and my people that I was starting to touch point with all warmed up and prepared for the last 3 weeks of February. And I began to really interact with intention and being deliberate, not ever talking to them about the company, business, or product, but just building relationships. So I had people following me, just interacting with me, so I knew on my wall that they were ripe, watching, and ready. And so when I hit March 1st, man, I knew I was with intention. It's time to act. It's time to bring that conversation that I'd had with many people to that next level. And so that's where I begun. And so I love this challenge. I am going hard. It's kind of fun that I'm talking to you right in the midst of this challenge, which inspires me all the more, Darren, is that, this is what's pulling me forward, right? Is the choices you make pull you forward. And that's important. You have to make a choice to pull yourself forward. If you're not making a choice, there is nothing that's pulling you into the future. And one thing I love about LifeVantage, boy, I could go off on a rant on this, is that LifeVantage is pulling us into the future. You just have to choose to go there.
That's great. So I'm probably, there's probably quite a few that are listening that, lean back and think, okay, 20 and 30. But Becky's a hyper enroller. She can do that. She can sell. She's a seller. She's a good salesperson. That's why she's so good. How would you respond to that?
Oh, that's a hot button for me, Darren. People think, well, you're in real estate, you sell house. I do not. I help people who have already made the choice to buy or sell their home do what they've already chosen to do. And so it's the same way with LifeVantage. We are solving problems. We are looking for a specific field of individuals, that, well, let me pause that thought and say, do I believe in my belief system? Does everybody need God? Does everybody need Jesus? Yes. Does everybody need to be healthy? Yes. But not everybody chooses that. So I look for people that have a problem, and they have a problem, maybe their pet. I've just got a new customer because I saw somebody, they're clamoring for their pet. They had a problem. So I look, and then I just love them and say, I have a solution. It may or may not. Those are magic words, you guys. Those aren't salesperson's words. It may or may not be for you, but what you just said just broke my heart, and I really do care. If you would like to, I would love for you to at least look at this. That's what I do. I am a shares person, and I give information and let that person, I trust the process that person is smart enough to make a decision for themselves. And I do not get connected to the result. I do not go hunting, ever. I don't hunt people down until they buy.
And when you use the word hunt, I think there's natural instinct in people. We naturally know if we're being hunted, if we're prey. You can smell that like a mile away, and people run away from it. Just like a prey would scatter. You've got to, you've got to solve problems. I like the way that you put that. Right now there are people who are looking for an answer, and you're simply trying to give them a solution that may or may not be right for them at this time of their life.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Well, let's say that, unfortunately, our time goes by so quickly here. Let me ask you two questions. They're both related, but they're different. So if you were to give us one piece of advice that we could start doing today to make our life better, and this doesn't have to be anything with LifeVantage, just one thing that could make our lives better and happier, because that's what people want. They want to be happy and successful, and they want their families to be healthy and successful. What would that be? And then the related question is, okay, what is also one thing that everybody could start doing today that they would begin to notice an improvement in their business today if they started it? What would you say to both?
Well, they're such big questions. I kind of take a deep breath as I answer them. But one thing it's a small move. It's easy, and I'm not going to lie, it's powerful if you do this. So, first of all, you have to make that decision. So this is one of the things I do every single day, and I do it 3 times a day, is that I have a little on my alarm, my phone, here it is, declare and visualize. See those big words, declare and visualize. And every single day, this alarm goes off on my phone, and it says declare and visualize. So one of the things I am declaring, and for you, it might be a declaration of where you're working your way toward in your next rank. I declare and visualize that I am a My Life Venture Pro 7. And My Life Venture is the next level after you hit Pro 7, is to be a consistent Pro 7 until you get the My Life Venture Award. So every day, and then I go whoop, 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 and I feel it. I see it. I visualize the drone. I literally visualize the drone that's flying over my head doing the film. I see where I'm walking with my husband along the pier in our backyard, throwing the ball for the dog as it's all getting filmed for my Life Venture video. So I declare and decree that 3 times a day. And then I also have another one. Okay, because I love you all so much at LifeVantage, I'm gonna let you in. The other one says, I live in the body of my dreams. I live in the body of my dreams. I'm going to say it boldly. I declare that too. So those 2 things right now, every day, they're little, you guys. But when you feel the DNA in your body, you feel yourself going, I believe it. I am going to be a Pro 3. I am going to be a Pro 5. I am going to be a Pro 6. And I declare and decree it. So that's just one little personal development. I have a lot more because that is part of my wheelhouse, but that's the little one I'm going to give that you guys can start right now. Open up your phone, put a couple of your things down, and make it repeat. And it will stay on repeat until I've reached that goal. And that's
before you move on, I also use another app. Let me show this one. Let me walk up here to the camera. Let's see. Try to get it.
Right there.
It's
Good, right there.
it's this one
Yep.
called Streaks. So look for something that's orange with that S, and it's called Streaks, like Streaks. And you can put in something that you want to monitor and create a streak in, or to be consistent, and that app helps you maintain it. So I use that too. So I'm an app person also.
Yeah, I'm big into apps, and I'm going to be downloading that one right after this, right after we're done here. I'm actually very excited about that. I might transfer what I'm doing into
Well,
that.
see if it works for you. It depends on, I think, the goal that you're doing. So,
Mhm.
so what else?
Okay, and now one thing to improve their business. One thing to improve their business. The most powerful thing you'll ever do, and you hear this over and over, this is not new news, is to make a decision. But I want you to see that decision as something a little more powerful, is that it's something you also do every day. You wake up and you make a decision. And that decision is, what is it that I'm going to do today to move my business forward? And then I am willing. So maybe that when you make a decision, maybe that one thing today is to go to those 5 people that you were so afraid to follow up with because you've been hounding them, and just check in. Don't talk about Life Vantage. Don't talk about the product. Check and say, how are you doing today? You just came across my mind. And that will move forward, is go in and revisit somebody or some people that maybe you've already visited before, and just love on them. Make a decision. And knowing, you guys, that's kind of, it feels like a slow motion, but I kid you not, every person that you touch and love, it moves the dial forward into a better dialogue down the future. So that is, I literally spend my day loving on people, interacting with them, commenting on their posts and loving on their posts, because that brings me into their awareness. And I kid you not, it's working for me. So listen, it's working for me. That builds your rapport, your care. If they care and trust you because you've loved on them, their wall, their posts, they're going to start looking at you and responding back. And that's going to start opening up dialogue. If that's all you have you start doing, that is moving the dial forward.
That's great advice. While you were saying that, I was thinking back through my kids. The images that you were popping into my mind as you were speaking was to go after your chicken list, meaning people you're too chicken to call. And it reminds me of a story, an experience I had. This was with the previous company years ago, but one of the top leaders told me that he had somebody on his chicken list that he didn't dare to call. And I didn't know who the person was. And he's like, well, maybe one day I'll reach out. I'm like, all right, well, you should call. But he's like, no, this person would never be interested. And this person was Eric Worre. Okay? So this was years ago. This hasn't, this is probably 15 years ago. And it just so happens that Eric was looking for an opportunity at that moment. And a couple of weeks went by, and Eric called me directly and said, hey, I noticed your website and I'm kind of interested. Do you mind if I fly in? So he ended up joining, not under this person because he was never contacted, and he became the top salesperson in it for, I don't know, at least 5 years in a row, as I recall. And he was always in the battle for the #1 position. And the amount of potential business that this leader, who was too chicken to call, his chicken list, lost out on that. I mean, it's just, every time I'd see him, he'd be kicking himself, because of every time you'd see Eric on stage, he'd like, And so,
oh, that's painful.
yeah, you never know what's going on in people's lives. You just don't. People are, you never know what's going on. So make a decision, like you were saying, and start creating relationships. I think what you're saying is great advice. Mm-hmm. Well, Becky, thank you. Our time is way past, but I've enjoyed speaking with you so much.
We tend to do that, don't we?
Well, yeah, but that's the thing with these Facebook Lives. We can keep going. It's just a conversation between me, you, and our Life Vantage family, and it's great. So again, thank you, Becky, and thank you to each of you for watching and taking time out of your busy day and really getting to know Becky and who we are and who Life Vantage is. So make a decision, move your business forward, And I'm going to go in and check right after and make sure that my website, that my Facebook is marked public.
Good. Good choice. Okay.
And that I'm going to check all the friend requests and be very careful so I don't get a lot of these fake ones in there. So anyway, from all of us here at our world headquarters, we'll see you soon. And hopefully we'll see you at our regionals and in Las Vegas. See you later. Bye.